Okay, and you should be able to see the recording. Okay, welcome people to Witchwood TV. This is the second of our two broadcasts thus far. Excuse me. The first one was an interview with Doctors Darker and Brown, which was absolutely brilliant. They just are real heroes. If you ever want an example of a good NHS hero in action, and have a excuse me, listen to the video. Lots of good stories, but the bit I liked the best was how they're going to celebrate the end of COVID, which will be with a massive group hug. So perhaps we could start planning the Witchwood massive group hug on the day of the fete. That would be really cool. If you're shy about group hugs, don't worry. There are one or two in the Witchwood post who are also shy about group hugs. So tonight we have with us Ruth White, who coincidentally, I didn't plan this, but it just so happened. I came across Ruth White because my wife said to me words to the effect of, "Husband, you need to sort out your back." And so we are going to a yoga class. Being a dutiful husband, I did as I was told, and I turned up to the yoga class, and she was absolutely brilliant. And I now discovered that Paul Miller, who's also with us, and Amanda have both also been to their yoga class. So Ruth, thank you for loosening up my back. I'm afraid I haven't been for about 6 months. And in consequence, my back is now extremely unloose, which is the reason for inviting you onto the Witchwood TV tonight. So Witchwoods, if you are listening, what we're trying to do is we're trying to promote things of interest to the Witchwood community. We've got a couple of sessions on fitness, partly because the doctors said, we asked them for 3 wishes. And they said, we wish people would look after their general health. So we've got some sessions on looking after general health, some to do with diet and a couple to do with fitness. We'll have some chats, I hope, on mental health and keeping yourself sane during this difficult time. And so also some chats on earning money, because if you haven't got money, life becomes very stressful very quickly. So that's a sort of background to what we're trying to do. So without further ado, Ruth. Okay, I want to see if I can do a demonstration to the rest of the world, because I reckon I'm typical of the average over 50 resident of Milton under Witchwood. Here we go. And I'm going to stand up. Let's see if it works. And I'm going to bend down and get as far as I can to touching my toes. Fortunately, you can't see how far I am, but I'm roughly 2 inches below my knee. Do you have some exercises for me?
Yes,
that could help me touch my toes? There we are. And so I'm held accountable. Each week in Witchwood TV, I'm going to report back on the Touch Your Toes challenge. We've got a WhatsApp group to help it go well. So there's no pressure on me, but around about 2,000 people will be following my progress. Okay, so off you go, Ruth.
Good. Well, a lot of us do have bad backs, not helped by sitting at screens for so long. Even children are getting small at the back, particularly ache and punchy shoulders. You know, 5 of my 6 grandchildren, all very small, are now wearing specs, but they weren't before lockdown. So there we go. So yoga improves everything. It's a counterbalance to modern stresses and strains. It's bringing back a balance and a harmony to not just the body, but the mind too. So as it's a very practical method, I would like you to stand up and join me on this one, everybody. Alan, you too.
Okay, right, come on then, peeps. We're standing up. This may not go round so well on TV, but we'll have a go. That's okay.
Good. So to bring the body back into balance, just take your attention down to your feet, the soles of your feet. Yes, put the feet together and straighten the legs. So the right side of the body is divided over the right leg and the left side over the left leg. Most people have a favorite leg, so they're standing more onto one leg. See if you can come into the middle, equal weight on the feet. Very good. And from the center of each ankle, pull the shin bones up. Just let the movements die down now. From the center of each knee, pull the thigh bones up. Now, inner body, it's not just the visible body, it's the inner body too. Lift up from the pelvic floor, center of the perineum, lifting up. Behind the navel, lift up. Behind the breastbones, lift. Even behind the eyes, lift up. So from the heels pressing down, to the crown of the head, you feel tall. Now take a few deep breaths. And now as you stand in balance and harmony, you can feel the body relaxing, releasing, becoming still. So you can stay like that, or just, I'll give my opinion about Alan. Very good student, had a great sense of humor, which is always helpful. But when he showed you his forward bend, oh dear, he was like this. Now, he hadn't let the head go. A forward bend is releasing forwards as far as you can. Releasing forwards. This is, the neck is quite loose. You can try this if you like. It's a very practical subject, yoga, not theoretical. Let the neck go. Yes. Now, what usually stops you is tension. It's tension. So you could still stand in balance, really. We're so unused to standing still in equilibrium. Takes much less energy. So with Alan, it could be, and I think it is, having taught him, that the back of the legs, the hamstrings, are tight. And that's with most men with strong legs. So push your knees back.
And so I don't want to disturb, but apparently it's not broadcasting, I don't think.
Well, according to this, it says there are 11 people watching at the moment.
Oh, okay.
Lovely.
I'll carry on then.
I'm tuned in.
Yes.
I'm just so glad it's not the 500 that watch the doctors.
So back to Alan. I don't mind as long as those who are watching actually.
Ruth, I'm up for it. Okay, you keep going. We will get me touching my toes before we finish.
The other thing is with Alan, and with many men who are stronger and stiffer than the women, who tend to need strength, and most of them are quite supple. But there are stiff places, and the smaller the back and the lower back, that's behind the pelvic girdle, they get very stiff too. So men can very seldom sit on the floor with straight legs. Very seldom. They round the back. So just, if you wouldn't mind sitting down now, everyone, my lovely 11 visitors, and just sit on a firm surface, not on the sofa, really. And so you yogis can sit on the floor. Excellent. So you've got two sit bones at the bottom of the pelvic girdle. Can you feel those little bones there? I want you to rock forwards on the front of the sit bones. Even with stiff backs, Alan, you can put a little height underneath your bottom and your legs won't be straight. So I want you to roll onto the front of the sit bones. That takes this upper hip here, this upper hip forwards. Yes? Then there's some chance of the sacrum, the back of the pelvic girdle, in being actually upright. Because that, the sacroiliac joint there, the sacrum, is the keystone to the whole spine. It's wedge-shaped like that, 5 fused vertebrae, and the spine sits in it. So you want the spine to have a good base, be balanced, not crooked, weight in the center, lifting up. Now, what happens with screens and watching is that, this is exaggerated, of course. I'm sure none of you are like this, but this happens. The neck comes forwards, the shoulders back. So you want to just hold the arms behind your back. Not quite seen it, can you? Link the fingers behind your back, and you can do the sitting, draw down. Do you see how my arms are rolling in towards each other and pulling down behind my back? And it drags my shoulders down. It drags my shoulders down, you see? So keep doing that, and then to make the neck more comfortable, retract the chin. You don't want to be sitting like this all the time, chin slipping forwards. That strains the neck and you'll get neck ache. You know, necks are changing shape. So I was talking to an osteopath, actually changing shape. Because we're so much creatures just look at the screen all the time. So do that when you remember. Repetitive strain caused by repetitive movements. So do the opposite. Stretch your arms out sideways. Now, if I ask people who don't do yoga to stretch their arms, it's just a half-hearted effort like this. But no, stretch further than you can. And that makes this into yoga, that extra little stretch, not just stretching, but extra stretch. That's the yoga of it, do you see? So yoga's a wonderful counterbalance for all these things because it takes you that little bit further. And if you want to straighten up and get back to being in balance and harmony and happiness, then we need to go just a little bit further. And then the body changes.
Ruth, we're running a bit short of time.
Oh, sorry, I get carried away.
But I wouldn't want you to go without doing that amazing exercise you used to get me to do, whereby I lift my hips off the ground. That seemed to me like the world's best back flexibility exercise.
That's a wonderful thing. You mean lying down and bending the knees and lifting the hips. You know
Yes.
that one?
Yes, yep. I thought that was really brilliant. I can't demonstrate it in this small office. There's not enough space. Fortunately.
He wasn't bad at that, actually.
Sorry?
He was quite good. So, so what happens here is that this is the top of the legs of the hips, actually. That's where the ball and socket joint is. And we get closed up. We're always sitting at right angles there, and it gets closed up. So to help the lower back, the small of the back, and the hips, we can bend the knees like this. I won't ask you to demonstrate this at the moment, but if you could just watch, it's very simple. Push the feet into the floor and curl the tailbone up and lift the hips. Do you see?
Yeah, I do. I remember doing that. It was really good. After I'd done one of those classes, I came away feeling like I had a different back.
Oh, I'm so pleased, Alan. Yes, you don't have to be fit to do yoga. Just the contrary, really. If you need yoga, come along. It's not how good you are, it's where the attention is. Where the attention.
Okay, lovely. Right. You've got to get off to your other class. And so if you want to just sit on a seat so we can say goodbye to you. So, yeah.
Very good, Alan. I know I bossed you around a lot, so now you're bossing me around.
Were there any other exercises you wanted us to do?
Just one more. Can I just show you one more?
Yes, please do. Yes. Paul, are you okay for time?
Yeah, fine.
Is this one you're feeling a little bit sluggish? And you need energy. This is actually a Tai Chi exercise, but everybody can do this to a certain degree. You just swing your arms around in a banding way and turn first to one side and then the other, turning from the top of the legs. Do you see how I'm coming up on the back toe and sinking down each side? And even my head's turning and my eyes. Oh, it's lovely. I can feel the energy coming. Yes, so that's if you, oh, there's just one more, Alan. Yes, one more.
Please do. Yeah, no, I'm loving this. I'm so loving it. Trust me.
In the heart, because we get a bit closed up down there, and that's not what we want.
Yeah.
We want the head to quieten down, it's far too busy, and the heart to open. So, to open this vital little area here, can you see me?
Yes. Yeah, you're good.
Straight up the wall, arms really straight, standing 2 feet of your way away from the wall, 2 of your feet. Stretch up and sink the armpits and the throat towards the wall, pulling the tops of the legs back.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, I see that. Yeah.
That's opening here. Okay, I must let Paul, you must talk.
Right. Okay. Well, all of that's been recorded. stop recording just temporarily. No, I won't stop recording. I'll finish talking to you first. Ruth, that was really brilliant. You do how many yoga classes a week in the village?
I do in the beautiful hall, Shipton under Witchwood, Beaconsfield Hall. Yes,
Yeah.
It's absolutely wonderful hall. Been
Yeah.
warm all through the winter, although we couldn't use it. But we'll be back after Easter, morning and evening classes.
Am I right in thinking you used to live near the tennis club?
Yes, I did, and it was absolutely fine. I love to hear them, especially the youngsters playing.
Yeah.
A good use was made of it. You know, one group would go out, another group would come in immediately.
So it didn't upset you, keep you awake at night?
No, I loved it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Lovely. That's just useful feedback because we're going to give Paul a rough time later on. So we thought we ought to have some friends on his side. So okay, lovely. Okay, have you got to get off now? Is that?
Oh, if you can call me back if there are any questions, I don't know if
Yes.
there might
Okay.
be.
That would be fine. Okay, but okay, lovely. Right. So let's just stop that video. Okay, lovely. Thank you, Ruth. And then is it stopping recording? We're still live on Facebook, but I'm hoping that it will stop